Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm Jack Keane. I grew up in New York City, America. I was a soldier for almost 38 years. And I've been helping the United States Army for over the last 10 years. I have never been with a group who has had such a singular and overwhelming focus as you do. I'm proud to be among you. We assemble today as people who respect freedom and liberty with one cause, and one cause only: to free Iran. Since 1980, the mullahs have stated their strategic objective every single year: spread the Islamic revolution throughout the region. In the last 8 years, President Obama, while I believe he committed many strategic mistakes based on false assumptions, two have had profound impact on the Middle East. One was the assumption that if the United States withdrew from the Middle East, we could still contain Islamic extremism. Number two, if we entered into a nuclear deal with Iran, it would motivate the Iranian regime to stop their aggression and their malign behavior. Both huge mistakes. A decade ago, deaths due to Islamic extremism was 3,000 to 5,000. Now they're annually 30,000. Those are war-like numbers, to be sure. Iran is on the march in the region, encouraged and financed by the nuclear deal. Make no mistake about it. Iran is building a land bridge from Iran through Iraq, through Syria, through Lebanon, to the Mediterranean. It is their number one strategic objective. That is why Iran moved so quickly into Syria to prop up their client, the Assad regime. The facts are these: the Iranian generals run the civil war for the Syrian regime. They direct the ground campaign, they direct the use of Syrian air power and selected use of Russian air power in support of the ground campaign. They make up the largest forces on the ground. Their generals lead it on the ground. They have had some fairly significant casualties by the thousands, and they have had a number of generals killed as well. Their organization consists of Hezbollah, in excess of 10,000, Iraqi Shia militias by the thousands, the Quds Force, the IRGC, and also they have brought in conventional brigades on a limited scale, took high casualties, and they had to leave. They are running this war in Syria. That is the reality of it. It is due to the feckless leaders in Europe and also the same feckless leadership that the United States had when we had the opportunity to do what the Sunni Arabs wanted us to do, to join in this campaign against Assad. We said no, and the results are predictable. Obama's policies of retrenchment and disengagement, a reckless nuclear deal, has led to the election of a new American president who had no political experience, but spoke to the American people advocating American populism. He was elected because people felt bad about what was happening inside America and also felt bad about what America was doing outside America. 10 days after Trump assumes office in the White House, the Iranians test him. They conduct ballistic missile testing in violation of the UN resolution. Trump does not wring his hands. He does not issue a bunch of rhetoric. He immediately confronts the regime. He sanctions the regime, and he tells them further aggressive and malign behavior by your regime beyond missile testing, we will confront you. This is a new president and a different government in America, and you have had other Americans talk to you about this. This is a good thing in my view. Just a few weeks ago, President Trump demonstrated the beginning, I think, of the execution of his foreign policy. We don't know for sure what his overall strategy is because he hasn't written it down, but they are writing it down. What we do know is he has a very strong national security team around him. He went to the Middle East a few weeks ago and had an historic visit. This is what made it historic. He had 55 leaders from the entire region sitting in front of him in Riyadh when he stood up and said this, and it's almost a quote: "The number one strategic threat to you and to your people and to this region is Iran." Many of us have talked about an Arab NATO for a number of years, and he started speaking about it. He said, we must partner together. We must stand together in an alliance against this evil regime. So, in conclusion, that has led me to a couple of observations. One is I'm hopeful and optimistic for two reasons. One is the resistance is growing not only in size and scale, but in determination, dedication, and conviction. And that is a credit to you and to all others who are a part of this movement. And second, the United States government, who has already declared the Quds Force a foreign terrorist organization, I know for a fact that under consideration, and I think what will eventually happen, is that the Trump government will declare the IRGC a terrorist organization. The United States government will no longer appease or accommodate Iran, but will confront Iran. The United States government will not permit Iran to have nuclear weapons with ballistic missiles, which is not only a threat to the region, but a threat to world peace. The United States government knows Iran, while it should be confronted, is not capable of fundamental change. The United States government knows Iran is evil to its core. The United States government, in my judgment, will support the people of Iran to change the regime. Free Iran, and God bless you.